discussing the future of the LPH in the wake of several fires at the abandoned building. Good evening and thank you for joining us. Thunder Bay Fire Rescue officials are calling on the province to step up after 4 fires at the former Lakehead Psychiatric Hospital this year alone.
The deputy fire chief calls a vacant building a safety hazard for both firefighters and the public. Lee Noonan has the story.
Well, all vacant properties in the city are a concern for Thunder Bay Fire Rescue.
The city's firefighters have attended 5 calls at the old Lakehead Psychiatric Hospital this year, and 4 of those calls were fire-related. The job is often dangerous, but Deputy Fire Chief Dave Torini says vacant buildings come with particular risks, with the utilities shut off and a lack of maintenance.
The LPH presents some unique hazards as well because of the nature of the occupancy. It used to be designed to keep people in, so we have firefighters going in to respond to calls, and it's difficult to get egress points or access points for us to get in and out of the building. We have actually had one staff member sustain an injury at one of the fire incidents. All injuries are a concern on any incident, and certainly at a vacant property, we want to be really careful with managing staff expectations and making sure safety is the #1 priority.
The building has been unoccupied for 6 years and is still owned by the province. Thunder Bay Fire Rescue will be meeting with the Ministry of Infrastructure next week, and Torini says they'll be asking for an increase in security at the site.
People are trespassing, gaining entry into the building, and lighting fires in various locations in the LPH building itself. We will be talking about scene security, how they go about securing the building, how quickly they can secure the building after people have gained entry, and perhaps posting security on site round the clock.
Torini says the fire department won't tell the province what to do with the facility, but that, as with any vacant building, they'd prefer to see it dealt with quickly. Meanwhile, Thunder Bay Superior North MPP Lise Vaugeois won't shy away from telling the government what she thinks should happen.
This needs to be moved to the front of the agenda, and the property needs to be examined for its safety, or whether or not it can be rehabilitated. Let's make that decision now. And if it cannot be rehabilitated, then let's get it taken down so that there are other possibilities for building there.
Vaugeois says she'll be bringing the issue to Queen's Park as soon as the fall session opens, and she encourages residents who want their voices heard to reach out to her office in the coming weeks. Lee Noonan, TBT News.
Thunder Bay Port officials are concerned about a potential railway shutdown starting this Thursday.
The Teamsters Union announced its CN and Canadian Pacific members will walk off the job if no deal is reached. Port CEO Chris Heikkinen says that would have a major impact on shipping to and from the port. Jessica Clement has the details.
CN Rail and CPKC workers may go on strike as early as Thursday after failed negotiations between the Teamsters Union and the railway companies. Thunder Bay Port CEO Chris Heikkinen says locally, the potential stoppage of Canada's railway system would have a significant impact on the port receiving outbound products like potash.
Some of the operations, like the grain elevators, would be able to continue shipping product outbound, and some of the inbound commodities would be able to continue arriving at our docks. But some operations are fully dependent on the railway, so there's certain cargo that is basically direct rail to ship operations, and in those cases you'd see a stoppage of the shipments altogether.
Heikkinen noted the port is approaching a crucial time of the year where grain shipping starts picking up, and it's hard to make up lost shipping days. He says he hopes both parties could reach a last-minute agreement before any work stoppage does take place.
Obviously, that would be the best outcome for us here in the port, but also for the country as a whole, because there's a lot of the economy that really relies upon the railways.
The local forestry sector may also be affected by the railway strike, according to Thunder Bay Chamber of Commerce President Charla Robinson.
The chemicals that they need, some of the supplies that they need coming in, as well as their products going out, whether that's pulp, whether that's actual lumber. So in short order, every day that this goes on, the more it will impact our community and our region and, of course, our whole country. And we're very concerned about what that could mean for potential layoffs and then the long-term impacts that there could be.
Jessica Clement, TBT News.
The family of a man who has been missing for nearly 3 weeks is pleading for help from the public.
42-year-old Richard Graham was last seen getting on a Cumberland Street bus, and investigators say he could be anywhere in the city. Vasilis Bellos reports.
A father's message to his missing son.
Contact us, let us know that you're okay anyway. Like, even if you don't have a phone, just there's people, like, leave a mark somewhere, because we're looking everywhere for him.
Dwayne Poster is the dad of 42-year-old Richard Graham, who hasn't been in contact with family for more than 2 weeks. There are added concerns with him having mental health struggles. Prior to going missing, Graham was living in this encampment here at Current River Park, with the most recent footage of him taken at the Esso station on Cumberland Street on July 30th. After leaving the Esso station, Graham was seen hopping on a southbound bus on Cumberland Street, but it's unclear where he got off. Investigators say that means he could be anywhere in the city.
At this point, we're just making a plea to the public to perhaps check any video cameras, video in their, could be store video. Either way, we're specifically interested in July 30th as a day. Known areas of travel could include the entire city.
Graham is a 5'6" white male with a slim build, medium-length red hair, a red beard, and hazel eyes. He was last seen wearing a short-sleeve shirt, black pants, and a ball cap, all with camouflage pattern, a large black backpack, and gray and black running shoes. Graham's father goes on to say any information could help the family and would be greatly appreciated.
Look in your backyards, under cars, in cars. It was very hot weather that time. Anything could have happened to him where, where he would have just could have passed out and fell down somewhere. You just never know.
Vasilis Bellos, TBT News.
Ontario Premier Doug Ford touting the province's economy at a meeting of municipal leaders in Ottawa today.
In recent years, Ontario's economy has attracted tens of billions of dollars in the tech sector. Remember all the students used to hop on the plane that fly off to Silicon Valley, San Francisco Bay Area? We're growing 365% faster than Silicon Valley.
Mayors from across Ontario, including Thunder Bay's Ken Boshkoff, are pushing upper levels of government to help address homelessness and aging infrastructure.
A group of local cycling advocates is starting up a new monthly awareness ride. Its aim is to get more people to ride bikes and to advocate for safer bicycle infrastructure in the city. The group, Just Bike Thunder Bay, now rides to council meetings once a month to let the city know they want to see more progress on the active transportation file. Now they're starting up a new event, inviting the general public out for a mass ride every full moon.
In other cities they do it, and it kind of makes it a little more changeable. So some people will say, well, I have things going on Monday nights. So on a full moon it kind of rotates and it comes up on a different night. So we're going to try doing that, and we're going to start that at the Superstore parking lot at next full moon.
The active transportation piece leads to healthier outcomes. You have people that are active and reducing, less hospital stays and those types of things. And it's also good for the environment. People are leaving their cars at home. So I certainly see what they're saying and doing as a vital piece of, bringing that awareness to City Council.
The city's first full moon ride will go September 17th at 6 p.m. Details are available on the Just Bike Thunder Bay Facebook group.
Cars could be seen racing around the Thunder Bay Regional Hospital parking lot yesterday, but the drivers weren't people late for their doctor's appointment. They were competing in the Thunder Bay Autosport Club's annual Cancer Care fundraiser. Around 20 cars were registered to take part. Drivers maneuvered around a closed track trying to beat the clock. The event was free for spectators, but the competitors had to collect pledges and donations to participate. This year, the club raised more than $4,000, which will go towards Northern Cancer Care. In total, about $74,000 has been raised over the past 10 years. Club President Gary Adamko says being able to give that much back to the community warms his heart.
I lost my father to cancer many years ago for lung cancer, and so to do anything for Northern Cancer Care makes our club and myself, extremely happy to be able to give back to the community and to try and end cancer.
The Auto Sport Club has another event on September 8th in the WSIB parking lot.
Good news for music lovers in the city. Soon, all public library patrons will have the chance to get their hands on some free tickets to the Symphony Orchestra. The TBSO and the Thunder Bay Public Library have signed an agreement that will see the orchestra donate 224 tickets for its shows this upcoming season. Library members can enter for a draw to win one of 4 pairs of tickets or a set of 4 tickets to the Symphony's family shows. Library Director Riley Roy calls it an exciting partnership.
There seems to be a lot of enthusiasm for the idea. We have a lot of seniors living on fixed incomes who are going to really appreciate the opportunity to go and see fantastic symphony performances, as well as parents of young children who are itching for the opportunity to take their children for that amazing musical experience.
We want the orchestra to be a place where people want to be and where people feel like they're at home. And so come as you are. If you want to get dressed up, I love getting dressed up. People love getting dressed up. If you don't, that's fine too. We just want you to enjoy the music and enjoy a good night out with us.
Anyone with an active library card can enter to win tickets by registering on the library's website. Registration for the first draw will be open between September 20th and the 26th for a performance featuring local vocalist Paula DiGiuseppe.
Local farming heritage was celebrated this past weekend at the 134th Annual Millo Fair.
Hosted by the Oliver Agricultural Society, the 3-day event brought thousands of people to enjoy rodeo events, livestock contests, and midway rides. Jessica Clement was there.
It was all smiles at the Millo Fairgrounds this weekend as the Oliver Agricultural Society hosted the annual Millo Agricultural Fair. The 3-day event brought in people of all ages to get a glimpse into the local agricultural life.
It's just an excellent opportunity for agricultural exhibition. We do cows, crops, crafts, everything you would want in an agricultural fair.
Society President Lindsay Kozlowski says the fair had a little something for everyone, as it combined rodeo events, livestock contests, midway rides, live music, and local market vendors. She says the events in the main show ring were a highlight of the weekend, which included barrel racing.
Okay, there we go.
And pole bending.
Johnson, they're going to get it done today on the Sunday. There we go. That's what it is. He's coming down hard now.
Kozlowski estimates around 9,000 people made their way to the fairgrounds over the weekend and says she's happy that the fair is still growing. We asked some attendees what their favorite part of the fair was.
Probably watching the horses. It was really fun to see, and they're really talented, and it's a very hard thing to do, and they're really good at it.
Probably watching the horses.
Probably the sea ray, because of the butterflies it gives me.
Kozlowski notes that they really want to highlight the work that the local agricultural community does, adding that it's important for them to host the event year after year.
Farming is decreasing the amount of farmers in Canada, and so by having exhibition, it makes us able to educate people, encourage people, and support people in being involved in the agriculture community. We're just so grateful to have the support from the community. We're happy to be supporting the agricultural communities, the farmers, the makers, the creators in our community, and being able to put them all on exhibition for everybody to see and enjoy.
Jessica Clement, TBT News.
Oh, there was so much happening this weekend, and the weather really panned out for it. It was perfect. Fiona, you predicted it. I think you're the one that, put it into fruition. Yeah, exactly.
Made it happen.
You did.
Made it happen. And, we are getting towards now the second half of August, so it is starting to get a little bit cooler, but we're still definitely in that seasonal zone today. We had lots of sunshine, topped out with a high of 21 and a humidex of just 23, and that's kind of right on the money for where we should be at this time of year. Winds were pretty consistent for the most part from the east-southeast, ranging from about 10 to 16 kilometers per hour, so looking pretty good. Now, if we take a look at what's going on across the region at this time, once again, fairly consistent. There is more heat to the west, and in fact, in the prairie provinces, it is stiflingly hot today. So we should just enjoy these slightly above seasonal temperatures to the west. Red Lake currently at 24. It was mainly sunny. Most of the day is now again a little bit warmer. As you head into Fort Frances, they have a humidex of about 29, so it's not a huge factor, but it is keeping things nice and toasty under all that glorious sunshine. And that was after a fairly cool overnight low of 9. As we head to the east of our region, you can see the temperatures take a bit of a hit. We're currently in the high teens for both Armstrong, Greenstone, Nipigon, Marathon, Wawa, and then it isn't until we hit the Sioux that we're back at 21. So markedly cooler to the east, but still lots of sunshine with the exception of the eastern shores of Lake Superior. Sault Ste. Marie has had increasing clouds throughout the day. Here in the city of Thunder Bay, we're going to drop down to a low of 9, so it'll be a nice cool one. If you keep the windows open, you might want to make sure you've got a blanket handy for that midnight, oh, I'm chilly moments where you pull it up and keep toasty warm. Just a few clouds overnight and winds will be light. Now, this is a brand new week, so this was a nice start to the week. Slightly cooler, and that's going to continue for at least another day, but we've got lots of sunshine on the way for a large portion of the week. And if you're finding it a little too cool, well, we'll start to warm up a little bit, probably around Wednesday, and then things are going to warm up for another warm weekend. Things are actually so far looking pretty good, but it is several days away, so we got to hedge our bets.
Yeah, can't count our chickens before they hatch.
Absolutely.
Right. Thanks a lot, Fiona. Well, when we return, we'll bring you the national perspective on a story that we told you about earlier in the newscast. That is, of course, the looming work stoppage at Canada's 2 major railways. We'll have more details on that when your news hour continues right after the break.
This is a serious and urgent concern for us. There's nothing more important than an economy that's potentially about to shut down.